founders, Marcus and Joni Lamb, from 2007 to 2011. And in that role, she saw up close and personal, not just what happened at Daystar TV, but also within the Lamb family. And when these allegations came out,
Joni Lamb has just been kicked out of Daystar after shocking revelations revealed by investigative journalist Julie Royce. For years, Lamb has portrayed herself as humble and transparent, but the recently released facts tell a different story. Confidential documents, secret financial reports, and stunning shots of luxury homes have surfaced, revealing a hidden life that no one suspected. The scandal has shocked Daystar's loyal viewers and sparked heated debate. What was Joni Lamb really hiding, and why was she forced to leave? Stay tuned for the full story of her downfall. Rumors and intrigue about Joni Lamb's removal. As soon as Joni Lamb was removed from Daystar, people started talking. The rumors spread quickly, and nobody knew exactly what to believe. Fans were confused, church members were shocked, and everyone wanted answers. The story around town was that investigative reporter Julie Royce had uncovered some deep secrets about Joni's private life. People whispered that there was much more to Joni's sudden removal than what appeared on the surface. Some said Joni had hidden serious financial problems for years. They talked about secret money transfers, mysterious bonuses, and questionable use of church donations. Rumors suggested Joni secretly spent funds meant for charity to support a lifestyle filled with luxury. People claimed she owned expensive properties nobody knew about, large houses, mansions, and estates far from the modest lifestyle she often preached about on TV. Others believed the situation was even darker. They said Julie Royce found evidence of internal conflicts and serious personal disputes between Joni and Daystar's leadership. According to gossip, Joni might have been forced out because powerful people within Daystar saw her as a threat or liability. Some followers even speculated that there were jealous rivals who deliberately leaked damaging information to Julie Royce to end Joni's career.
We got back from our honeymoon. It was in July. And by the way, there are questions about, it's all over the internet, that Daystar paid $100,000 for my
Yes,
honeymoon.
I was getting ready to ask you about that.
So, absolutely not. Not one penny of Daystar's money was used for our honeymoon. We paid for our honeymoon, okay? So, again, that's another lie that's out there.
Another popular theory was that Joni had lived a double life for a long time. People whispered she had carefully built a public image of humility and modesty, while secretly enjoying a wealthy lifestyle behind closed doors. Social media was filled with stories suggesting Joni frequently attended secret parties, lived in luxury neighborhoods, and privately traveled the world in first-class style, all while publicly promoting simplicity and humility. Fans felt betrayed just hearing these rumors, unable to accept that the woman they respected could have deceived them for so long. The most mysterious rumors hinted that Julie Royce still had more evidence, something explosive that hadn't yet been revealed. People wondered nervously what else Julie had uncovered. Church communities became tense, waiting anxiously for further details. Joni's supporters defended her passionately, insisting these rumors were simply attempts to destroy her reputation. They claimed Julie Royce might have personal reasons for targeting Joni, accusing her of using sensationalism to boost her own fame. Despite no one knowing for sure what the truth was, the rumors continued to grow, making the entire situation more intriguing. Joni's sudden removal became a huge topic of conversation everywhere. People debated constantly about whether the rumors could be trusted, or if Joni was just the victim of a misunderstanding or unfair accusations. The uncertainty created even more curiosity and speculation, making everyone eager to hear what would happen next.
They do the semi-annual telethon there. I think they call it Heart for the World now. There's a room there just full of phones and cubicles and several hundred people in there that just answer phones all day. And the prayer department was in charge of taking the calls during the telethon when people would call in to donate. But every once in a while, the call volume would be so high that all company employees would be required to be on standby on their phone. And so this was one of those particular occasions. The call volume was exceptionally high. And lo and behold, my phone rang. I answer it, and it's this sweet little elderly lady, and she's weeping, and she's telling me that she's completely in debt. She has nothing, no money, but she does have a last little bit on her credit card, and she's going to give that to Daystar because the person on air said that if you give $1,000 today, God is going to give you $10,000 back. I don't really have words to say how horrible I felt in that moment, that I took that card number and I ran that card, because it just felt very, very wrong. And that was really the first time that I stopped and said, do I want to be a part of this? Is this the kingdom of God? Because I don't know how you can justify that before God.
Julie Roy's shocking revelations and her public statement. When investigative reporter Julie Royce finally decided to speak publicly about Joni Lamb, the community stopped to listen. Everyone knew Julie as someone who always revealed hidden truths. Her reputation was strong, and people trusted her work. They knew she never shared information without careful checking and verification. Because of this, her words carried huge weight. Julie stepped forward in a carefully planned press conference, calmly standing in front of dozens of reporters, TV cameras, and a curious public. Her expression was serious, reflecting the importance of the moment. She began by explaining carefully that her intention was never to hurt anyone personally. Her goal, she insisted, was always transparency and accountability. Julie emphasized that the public deserved to know the truth about people who held powerful positions and received public trust. Then Julie started explaining the details she'd uncovered about Joni Lamb's secret financial dealings. Julie revealed evidence she had gathered, internal financial records, confidential salary documents, and pictures showing a lifestyle far different from what Joni had publicly claimed. She described how documents clearly showed unexplained salary increases, bonuses, and secret transfers of money. These financial activities had never been publicly disclosed and appeared suspicious, raising big questions about honesty and trust within Daystar. Julie also spoke about the luxurious homes and properties Joni had acquired secretly. The reporter showed carefully verified photographs of high-end houses in expensive neighborhoods, large estates with beautifully manicured gardens, pools, and luxurious interiors. These properties didn't match the modest lifestyle Joni had always promoted publicly. The pictures shocked many viewers, especially Joni's followers, who believed her image of humility was real. Julie explained that the dates of the financial records matched perfectly with when Joni acquired these lavish properties, making it clear this wasn't just a coincidence. Throughout her statement, Julie remained calm and professional. She carefully explained how she verified each piece of evidence. Julie had spent months working closely with anonymous sources inside Daystar, employees who felt strongly that something was wrong. These insiders trusted Julie because of her reputation for fairness and careful attention to detail. They had risked their own jobs to provide her with the confidential documents and records because they believed the truth needed to be told. Julie also shared how shocked these insiders were by what they had found. They described a culture of secrecy at Daystar, where financial records were kept tightly controlled and out of public view. Julie emphasized this lack of openness allowed questionable financial decisions to go unnoticed for years. She explained clearly that transparency and honesty were critical, especially within organizations trusted by thousands of people who contributed their hard-earned money. The reaction to Julie's revelations was intense and immediate. Reporters asked endless questions, wanting even more details. They wanted to know exactly how long Joni had been living this secret life, and whether other Daystar leaders knew about these hidden financial activities. Julie patiently answered every question she could, always returning to her central point. This investigation wasn't personal, but necessary for truth and accountability. Julie Roy's public statement quickly sparked debate online and in churches everywhere.
Send me that email. I was so mad and angry that I'm going to send it to her that doesn't. He's telling me the ability because I needed time to think about it, so I didn't respond. And I called you, and I called 2 other ministers, and I called a prophetic person that they all respect. That has kind of walked through the journey with me. Of course, you've been the main one to know everything. So I called you, and I told you what happened. There was a viewer feedback that we've gotten a lot of comments. And so, because I'm introducing Doug to the audience, we're going to read one. I just want to tell you how much I've enjoyed watching Ministry Now with Joni's new husband, Dr. Wise. That this is a viewer. Mm-hmm. He seems wonderful, and they seem wonderful together. I also love watching the Daystar singers sing songs like No Fear and how they feature different people. It's amazing. Congratulations to Joni on her new marriage to a wonderful guy. Seems like he's a lot of fun. But they refused to read it. And I told you about that. And then Jonathan, sent me the email that I've let you read.
Many felt grateful to Julie for bravely exposing hidden truths. They praised her thoroughness and courage, saying she had done a valuable public service. People openly admired Julie's commitment to honesty and transparency, feeling she was doing the right thing, even though it was difficult and unpopular with some. But others responded differently, criticizing Julie for going public with private details. Joni Lamb's loyal fans accused Julie of unfairly targeting their beloved leader. They felt Julie might have exaggerated certain facts or even misunderstood the documents she'd presented. Some suggested Julie had personal motivations, possibly jealousy or a desire for attention, arguing she had unnecessarily damaged Joni's reputation. These critics wondered aloud if there might have been another, less public way to handle the situation without causing so much embarrassment. Yet Julie's supporters countered strongly, insisting the evidence spoke for itself. They argued Joni had a responsibility to live honestly and transparently, given her position as a public figure and spiritual leader. To them, Julie's revelations weren't about destroying someone's image, they were about accountability and honesty. They pointed out that if Joni had nothing to hide, she wouldn't have been so shocked or overwhelmed by the revelations. Julie herself also directly addressed these criticisms in her statement. She explained carefully that her job was always difficult and sometimes controversial, but necessary. She emphasized the importance of transparency, explaining that hiding uncomfortable truths was dangerous and destructive, especially when powerful people were involved. Julie argued that leaders must be held to the same standards they preached publicly. She repeated clearly and strongly that her investigation wasn't a personal attack against Joni, but an effort to hold accountable those who held significant power and influence. By the end of Julie's public statement, the public was left with powerful questions to consider. Could Joni Lamb rebuild her reputation after this? Would she openly admit to the discrepancies and honestly face the consequences of her secret life? Or would she deny the allegations and fight against Julie's claims, insisting the evidence was misunderstood or unfairly presented? The uncertainty only increased interest in Julie's revelations. Many people admired Julie Royce for her courage, respecting her careful, thoughtful approach to journalism. But even her biggest supporters wondered privately how much more Julie knew, if there was even more damaging evidence that hadn't yet come to light. Julie had left open the possibility that more documents, more proof, and even more shocking details might still emerge. People waited anxiously to see if this was just the beginning of an even bigger scandal. As Julie concluded her statement, she stressed one final point. Her investigation was a reminder that nobody, no matter how respected or admired, was above accountability. Public trust required leaders to be honest, transparent, and consistent in both their public and private lives. Julie ended by saying she hoped her revelations would help people become more aware, careful, and thoughtful about who they trusted with their support. With that, Julie stepped back from the microphones, leaving behind stunned silence and countless unanswered questions. Reporters shouted questions after her, wanting even more details, but Julie had already said everything she intended to say. The evidence was now public. Joni Lamb's carefully hidden life was no longer a secret, and the world waited anxiously to see what would happen next. Fan reactions and public outcry. As soon as Julie Royce revealed the shocking truth about Joni Lamb, reactions poured in from every direction. Fans who had trusted Joni for years suddenly felt hurt, confused, and deeply disappointed. Many had admired her as an example of humility and modesty, believing every word she spoke. But now, hearing she'd secretly enjoyed a luxurious lifestyle, their trust was shattered. Social media quickly exploded with emotional responses. People who had once praised Joni publicly expressed their sadness, disappointment, and anger. Comments appeared everywhere, on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, with many fans openly saying they felt betrayed. Some fans reacted with complete disbelief. They couldn't accept that Joni Lamb, someone who spoke constantly about simple living and honesty, would secretly be living such a lavish life. They argued passionately that there must be some mistake. These loyal followers claimed Julie Royce was exaggerating, misinterpreting the evidence, or even intentionally trying to damage Joni's reputation. They defended Joni fiercely, posting videos, comments, and messages insisting they would never believe the allegations without absolute proof. To them, Joni represented too many good things: faithfulness, sincerity, honesty, to simply accept that she'd been dishonest. They saw the scandal as an unfair attack and urged others not to jump to conclusions based on gossip. But many others felt differently. They were deeply upset, believing strongly that Julie Roy's evidence clearly showed Joni's dishonesty. These people felt betrayed by Joni's actions. After years of supporting her and trusting her words, they suddenly saw her as someone who couldn't be trusted. These former fans spoke openly about how disappointed and hurt they felt. Some even described feeling foolish for believing her modest public image. They questioned how Joni could preach humility, modest living, and transparency while secretly enjoying expensive homes and a wealthy lifestyle. The public outcry grew louder and louder each day, especially as more details from Julie's investigation spread. People began demanding accountability from Joni. Social media filled with comments asking her to publicly explain her actions, apologize sincerely, or step down entirely from her position. Fans argued passionately about the meaning of integrity and honesty. Many felt Joni owed a public apology and explanation, saying her silence only made things worse. Others debated whether forgiveness was possible. Some followers said everyone deserved a second chance, but others insisted Joni's actions were too serious to forgive easily, especially since she'd hidden everything for so long. Church communities were particularly shaken by the revelations. Many church leaders felt compelled to address the issue directly in their sermons and discussions. Pastors and religious leaders everywhere talked openly about Joni Lamb's situation, using it as an example of why accountability and honesty mattered so deeply, especially among religious leaders. Congregations debated intensely during meetings and gatherings, struggling to understand how someone they admired could have lived such a double life. People argued passionately about the damage Joni's hidden actions had caused, not just to her own reputation, but also to the entire community's trust in leadership. Some fans decided to take action immediately. Petitions appeared online, demanding that Daystar take responsibility for allowing such financial secrecy to exist within their organization. Thousands of people signed these petitions, calling for a thorough investigation of all financial records and demanding more transparency within Daystar. These followers insisted that the scandal was bigger than Joni alone. To them, it revealed deeper problems inside the organization, raising important questions about how money was handled and how transparent leaders truly were. People strongly felt the need for reforms to ensure similar situations never happened again. But not all reactions were critical. Some people reacted with compassion and sadness rather than anger. They felt sorry for Joni, believing that perhaps she'd gotten lost or overwhelmed by the pressures of fame and expectations. These compassionate fans argued everyone made mistakes and deserved empathy and understanding. They encouraged others not to judge Joni too harshly, pointing out that public figures faced enormous pressures that ordinary people rarely understood. These sympathetic voices asked others to show empathy, suggesting Joni might genuinely regret her actions and might eventually seek forgiveness and redemption. The debate between compassion and accountability became intense. Conversations about forgiveness and second chances happened everywhere, online, in churches, in workplaces, and among friends and family. Many agreed Joni should face consequences for misleading the public, yet they also wondered how harshly she should be judged. The community found itself wrestling with difficult questions about forgiveness and accountability, trust and betrayal. Should a leader who made mistakes be forgiven quickly, or should they be permanently removed from influential positions? The media attention only increased public reactions. TV shows, news reports, podcasts, and talk radio programs covered the scandal endlessly, inviting experts, pastors, and community leaders to discuss what Joni's downfall meant for religious leadership. Many experts spoke strongly about the importance of transparency, warning organizations everywhere that hiding financial details or personal lives from public view would eventually lead to scandals and damaged reputations. Others debated about the fairness of investigative journalism. Some praised Julie Roy's courage and skill, while others accused her of unnecessarily exposing private matters, arguing she had crossed a line by publicly embarrassing Joni without fully understanding her personal struggles. Public reaction grew even more intense as Joni continued to remain mostly silent. Her lack of response left fans confused and frustrated. Many felt her silence showed guilt, believing someone innocent would immediately defend herself publicly. Others argued she might be genuinely overwhelmed by everything happening. Perhaps she needed time and privacy to process her emotions before responding publicly. Joni's silence became another topic of debate, dividing opinions further about how public figures should respond to scandals. Celebrities and influential religious leaders also weighed in on the scandal. Some publicly supported Joni, offering prayers, compassion, and understanding. They encouraged their followers to avoid quick judgments, reminding everyone that mistakes were human and that true forgiveness